Caitlin Clark just landed a starting position on Team USA's latest roster. Angel Reese got benched. The announcement sent shockwaves through the basketball world, but not for the reasons you might think. Reese's explosive reaction to being relegated to the bench has reignited every controversy, from alleged intentional fouls to an attempt to compete with Clark's golf crossover success. The December Duke training camp was supposed to level the playing field. Instead, it looks like it will widen the gap. If you support Caitlin, comment below, #BabyGoat over Baby Giraffe. The upcoming December Duke training camp represents Clark's shot at redemption after getting completely shut out of the 2024 Olympic roster. Head coach Kara Lawson and USA Basketball managing director Sue Bird had been watching Clark's professional development closely since she entered the WNBA. They were not just tracking her record-breaking statistics from her rookie season, they were studying her growth as a leader and her ability to make teammates better. Clark walked into that Durham facility carrying some baggage. She was coming off a groin injury that cut her 2025 WNBA season short, while other players had full seasons to showcase their skills. The timing could not have been worse for someone trying to prove she belonged on the national team. But Lawson and Bird had seen enough during Clark's first 2 professional seasons to know she deserved serious consideration. The coaching staff had watched Clark transform Aaliyah Boston's career in Indiana. Boston went from being a solid post player to becoming an elite two-way threat once Clark started finding her in perfect positions. Their pick-and-roll chemistry became the foundation of the Fever's offensive system. Clark would thread passes through traffic that most guards could not even see, and Boston would finish with authority around the rim. Kelsey Mitchell experienced a similar career renaissance playing alongside Clark. Mitchell had always been a talented scorer, but Clark's court vision unlocked scoring opportunities Mitchell never had before. The veteran guard posted career numbers in assists and field goal percentage because Clark drew so much defensive attention that Mitchell found herself with cleaner looks than she had ever seen in her WNBA career. Lexi Hull's development told the same story. Hull transformed from a bench player into a reliable starter who could knock down open threes and defend multiple positions. Clark's ability to create open shots for role players became a defining characteristic that the coaching staff could not ignore. This was not just about individual talent anymore. Clark had proven she could elevate an entire roster. The leadership qualities that emerged during Clark's professional seasons impressed Bird and Lawson more than her college highlights ever did. Clark learned how to manage games without forcing shots. She developed the composure to run complex offensive sets under pressure. Most importantly, she showed she could accept coaching and adapt her game to fit different systems and personnel. Clark's chemistry with Boston is immediately obvious to everyone watching. They ran pick-and-roll sets that left defenders scrambling to figure out coverage. Clark's timing on the passes was perfect, and Boston's rolls to the basket created easy scoring opportunities. The coaching staff saw a partnership that could anchor their offensive system for years to come. Other players struggled to find that same rhythm when they entered the pros. Angel Reese had trouble adjusting to the pace and spacing that national team basketball requires. Her skill set worked well in college, but the international style of play will expose some limitations in her game. She could not create her own shot consistently against elite defenders, and her passing was not sharp enough to run point forward sets, which we already saw whenever she was assigned point forward with the Chicago Sky. Clark's performance during those training sessions proved she had evolved beyond her college reputation. She was not the player who relied solely on deep three-pointers and flashy passes. Clark had developed into a complete floor general who could score efficiently, distribute the ball effectively, and make smart decisions under pressure. The coaching staff saw a player who could handle the responsibility of running their offense at the highest level. Clark earned her starting position through pure basketball excellence, not politics or media attention. She outplayed veteran guards and showed she could adapt to different lineups and game plans. Her chemistry with existing national team players was undeniable, especially with Boston anchoring the front court. Clark had positioned herself as more than just a roster addition. She became a cornerstone player that Lawson could build around for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. The Olympic snub that once seemed like a devastating setback had become the motivation Clark needed to reach an entirely new level of basketball excellence. Reese's fury over being benched makes perfect sense when you look at her track record of jealous behavior toward Clark. This was not the first time Reese had an explosive reaction to Clark's success. The pattern has been building for years, and anyone paying attention could see it coming from a mile away. The pattern started with those so-called unintentional flagrant fouls that looked anything but accidental on replay. Reese developed a habit of making hard contact with Clark during games that went beyond normal basketball plays. The officials might have called them basketball fouls, but the replays told a different story. These were not heat-of-the-moment plays. They were calculated attempts to intimidate Clark and knock her off her game. Remember when Chennedy Carter blindsided Clark with that cheap shot during a 2024 game? Reese was caught on camera clapping and celebrating the dirty play. She was not trying to hide her reaction. Reese was genuinely happy to see Clark get knocked down by a player from another team. That moment revealed everything about Reese's true feelings toward Clark. Most players would have stayed neutral or even shown concern for an injured opponent. Reese chose to celebrate. When Clark won Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, Reese's social media activity told a different story about her true feelings. Instead of congratulating Clark or staying silent, Reese posted content that seemed designed to draw attention away from Clark's achievement. She talked about being overlooked and underappreciated right after Clark received one of the biggest honors in sports. The timing was not coincidental. Reese's Reebok shoe launch disaster showed just how desperate Reese was to compete with Clark's brand power. Reese decided to launch her Reebok signature shoes in Indianapolis, the home of Clark's Indiana Fever. She thought she could steal some of Clark's thunder in her own backyard. The strategy backfired completely. Nobody showed up to Reese's Reebok event in Fever territory, making it one of the most embarrassing marketing failures in sports history. The empty venue spoke volumes about who really had the fan support in Indiana. While Clark was selling out arenas and generating massive crowds wherever she played, Reese could not even fill a small promotional event in the same city. Then came the "I can play golf too" comment when Clark dominated LPGA headlines during her off-season golf appearances. Clark had been making waves in professional golf circles, appearing in pro-am tournaments and showing genuine skill on the course. Her crossover appeal was opening doors that no WNBA player had ever accessed before. Reese saw the attention Clark was getting and could not resist trying to insert herself into the conversation. The golf comment was pure jealousy disguised as confidence. Reese had not shown any previous interest in golf or demonstrated any skill on the course. She just wanted to diminish Clark's unique achievement by suggesting it was not that special. Anyone could do it, according to Reese. The comment fell flat because fans could see right through the motivation behind it. Her business announcements consistently followed Clark's major deals. When Clark signed with major brands, Reese would announce her own partnerships just days later. When Clark got featured in national advertising campaigns, Reese would post about her own endorsement work. She was always playing catch-up, trying to match Clark's momentum with her own announcements. The Forbes recognition of Clark as the most powerful female athlete triggered another wave of Reese's subtle responses. Instead of celebrating Clark's achievement for women's basketball, Reese used the moment to talk about her own impact on the game. She positioned herself as an alternative narrative to Clark's success story. Every single incident revealed the same thing. Reese could not handle Clark's success and always tried to diminish it. Whether it was physical plays on the court, social media responses to awards, failed marketing attempts, or desperate attempts to copy Clark's crossover success, the pattern was undeniable. Now with Clark starting for Team USA while she rides the bench, that pattern of jealousy has reached its breaking point. The national team selection represents the ultimate validation of Clark's basketball excellence, and Reese finds herself exactly where her behavior has always suggested she belongs. Clark's starting position is not just about basketball. She's building a business empire that Reese cannot touch. While Reese focuses on drama and social media stunts, Clark built real market value through authentic excellence. The numbers do not lie, and they tell a story about who really moves the needle in women's sports. Nike's deal, worth $28 million, with Clark dwarfs anything Reese has managed to secure with Reebok. This is not your typical WNBA endorsement deal either. Nike structured Clark's contract the same way they approach deals with NBA superstars. She gets a signature shoe line, guaranteed payments, and revenue-sharing agreements. Nike invested in Clark the same way they invested in Michael Jordan decades ago. That level of commitment from the world's biggest athletic brand says everything about Clark's market potential. Clark's signature Nike logo drop generated more buzz than Reese's entire shoe line combined. Those interlocking CCs appeared in Times Square and dominated social media feeds. Her apparel sells out within hours of restocking. The resale market tells the real story about demand. Clark's merchandise doubles or triples in price on secondary markets. Fans pay premium prices just to wear her gear. Reese's Reebok launch during All-Star Weekend was overshadowed by Clark's absence due to injury. Even when Clark was not playing, she was still generating more headlines than Reese's big shoe reveal. The LPGA crossovers and Pro-Am collaborations show Clark's appeal extends far beyond basketball fans. Her appearances at Pelican Golf Club created massive media coverage that reached sports fans who never watch WNBA games. Nike Golf saw the opportunity and created endorsement tie-ins specifically for Clark's golf content. The LPGA recognized Clark's drawing power and developed a multi-year partnership that benefits both parties. Other organizations understand what Clark brings to their events. She attracts audiences that do not normally follow women's basketball. Seven-figure speaking engagements prove Clark's cross-market power. Her virtual speaking fee starts at $100,000 per event. Corporate conferences book Clark. To discuss her record-breaking rise and impact on women's sports, the Long Island Association paid premium rates to have Clark keynote their fall conference. Business executives want to hear from Clark because she represents more than athletic achievement. She embodies the kind of breakthrough success that translates across industries. Meanwhile, Reese's Reebok venture continues to underperform, with weak sales and poor consumer engagement. Her signature shoe launch generated minimal buzz compared to Clark's Nike releases. The market response was muted even during peak promotional periods. Reese's social media engagement on business announcements pales in comparison to Clark's organic reach. Consumer interest simply is not there at the same level. The retail data shows the stark difference between authentic star power and manufactured hype. Forbes recognized Clark as the fourth most powerful woman in all of sports. She ranks alongside executives who run massive corporations. Forbes does not hand out those rankings based on potential. They measure actual influence, revenue generation, and market impact. Clark drives attendance figures, influences media deals, and creates measurable business value wherever she goes. That recognition confirms her status as a legitimate business force in sports. Clark's selection to Team USA amplifies every brand partnership and opens doors to Olympic-level sponsorship deals. International exposure creates opportunities with global brands that never considered WNBA partnerships before. Olympic athletes command premium endorsement rates, and Clark's starting position puts her in that conversation. Major corporations want athletes who represent excellence on the world's biggest stages. The business world recognizes authentic star power, and Clark's starting role proves she is the real deal. Companies invest in athletes who can deliver measurable returns. Clark's track record shows consistent growth across every business metric that matters. Her brand partnerships generate buzz, drive sales, and create lasting value for everyone involved. The Team USA announcement just added millions more to Clark's brand value while Reese watches from the bench. Corporate sponsors pay attention to national team selections because Olympic exposure represents unmatched marketing opportunities. Clark's business empire keeps expanding while her competitors struggle to build sustainable brands that connect with consumers. Clark's journey from an Olympic snub to a Team USA starter proves that excellence always wins over drama and jealousy. She took that rejection and used it as fuel to reach an entirely new level of basketball mastery. The 2026 Fever season has just become must-watch basketball, with Clark bringing Olympic-level experience back to Indiana. Fans can expect to see an even more polished version of the player who already broke 62 records in her rookie year. Her Team USA training will elevate every aspect of her game. Angel Reese can stay mad on that bench, while Clark writes the next chapter of women's basketball history. If you support Caitlin, comment below baby goat over baby giraffe. Like the video, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.